Welcome people, welcome back to the channel. And it's your boy King again. They are chat the damn thing again. And today we have to talk about 3 things that we must fix in order for us to move forward in this Gold Cup, qualify for the second round, and also qualify for the upcoming World Cup. I can guarantee you if we fix these things, we definitely are qualified for the World Cup and we definitely are going to the second round of the Gold Cup. But you don't know people were there to express their feelings and talk with mine. You don't know smash the like button in the meanwhile. Run it, selector.
Express my feelings, start my mind.
Yeah, people have to express their feeling and talk with mine. So these are the things that we must fix in order for us to move forward, people. But before we jump into the video, people, I want to take the time out to big up today's sponsor. You don't know, Jet Ski Car Rental. Need a car to take you far? You look no other than Jet Ski Car Rental, people. The number is 876-564-7301. You don't know, and you can go over there and make him know, say, a King from Pree TV send you. And I can guarantee you 150% that you will get a discount. No, you're not going to get 150% discount, you know, but you will 150% get a discount. So go over there, Jet Ski Car Rental, make him know, say, King from Pree send you, and you don't know you're going to get a discount. Pick up yourself, Jet Ski, for sponsoring today's show. Let's jump right into the video. So people, the first thing that we must fix is play goddamn midfielders in midfield. Play midfielders in midfield, as you can see from the image right here, sir. People, we're sick and tired for see defenders playing in midfield. So that is the first thing that we must fix. When you take a look at the squad, people, just take a look at this squad. This is the initial squad for the 2025 Gold Cup. And everybody, even Nigel boy, even the blind can see that this squad is short of central midfielders. Literally, Casey Palmer, yes, he can play central midfield, but he's more of a number 8. Jonathan Russell again is flourishing in that number 8 position. Bobby Reed, again, we just see that Bobby Reed is just coming around. He missed the first game. But really, Isaac Aiden is the only specialist, number 6 specialist, CDM specialist, I would say central midfielder that we had in the squad. And that's the first error. So that have to fix, and we see say them are go to try to fix it. Because guess what? We see Isaac Aiden go down earth. And when Isaac Aiden go down earth, me I tell you, it don't look good. You see me? So defenders, me tired to see defenders in a midfield. Defenders are not midfielders, people. We know I see defenders in a midfield. You get me? I say so. When you take a look at the last games that we played, the last 6 games that we played, right? You can see that we are a bit up and down. There's a bit of inconsistency there. I'm going to show you the reason why. So if you take a look at the last game that Jamaica won, 1-0, very ironic, you know, people. The last 2 inconsistent games that we played is the game that we actually beat BVI 1-0, right? And if you take a look at something right here, looking at midfield, there's no Isaac Aiden who played a defender in a midfield. Yes, we win, but that was a horrible game. I know so the coach talk about it being a leveler because of the bad field, but just take a look at this. Yes, we win, 1-0, right? Nana Loa play midfield. Defender playing midfield. Take a look at the next game that we did perform so well. We actually lost 1-0, and guess who play midfield again? Another defender, same defender actually, Nana Loa play midfield. So that just goes to show you, say we have an issue with defenders play in midfield. And we're sick and tired to see it. We're sick and tired to see defenders are play midfield. So we don't want to see that no more. People, me think one option where we should have used is John Russell. And this is why we should have used John Russell in a midfield. John Russell came on an interview and make it known that he played all 3 of these positions. Attacking midfield, central midfield, and defensive midfield. Yes, he's been flourishing in the attacking midfield role, in the box-to-box role, but he's somebody that has played defensive midfield before. People were sick and tired to see defenders in midfield. You see me? So the other addition we are seeing to this squad now is Kara Anderson. It makes you wonder why Kara Anderson wasn't in the squad in the first place. Why wasn't Kara Anderson in the squad in the first place? Yeah, we see him add now. So again, people, play midfielders in midfield. We're sick and tired to see defenders in a midfield. The next addition we're seeing to the squad is Sule Makala. And again, people, Sule Makala has played more than a handful of games this season as a central midfielder. So I know that people say, all right, King, Sule Makala also plays right back. Yes, he also plays right back, but This is a player that have more than a handful of game in midfield. And once again, play midfielders in midfield. We don't want to see no defenders in midfield. Defenders, not midfielders, people. You can comprehend this. Defenders, no midfielders. We don't want to see no defenders in a midfield. So the other midfielder what they for play in a midfield is Casey Palmer. I'm gonna explain further down in the video why I think that we can use Casey Palmer more to play central midfield. We know say people see Casey Palmer as a 8, as a number 10, but we can play a double pivot and play a midfielder in a midfield. Play Casey Palmer in midfield. We don't want to see no more defenders in midfield. No defenders in midfield. We want to see midfielders in midfield. You see me? There's another midfielder right there with Ball Pree TV. Big up yourself, Ravel. One Ravel Morrison. But that's another option. Coach, if you never know, me highlight all of the midfield options them right now. So I'm just show you how much midfielders did it. I know people are going to say, King, but Ravel is not a CDM. Guess what? You have two types of CDM. You have two types, not even CDM. You have two types of only midfielders. You have somebody called a register, which is a playmaking number 6, and you just put a defender, defensive-minded player beside them. So if you need to use a defender, if you need to use a defender, you need somebody like a register. You need a creative player for put beside him. Even though we don't want to see defenders in a midfield, but Ravel can play right there in a double pivot. So yes, we don't want to see no defenders in a midfield, but guess what? We can play Ravel. Ravel is an option. And run it, Ravel. Ravel, what you behave, sir? Yeah, and that is Ravel bigging up Ball Pree TV. And not because Ravel big up Ball Pree TV, that's why we want to see him. But we want to see midfielders in a midfield. So the thing about Ravel, and we have to speak about Ravel some more. So Ravel came out, I saw this in the Athletic in saying that so many people have formed an opinion about me, but those opinions are based on things that happened 10 to 15 years ago. I am now 32 years old, so the man I talk about say, when I leg off a Ravel shoes lace, man, you see me? I've played football around the world and I've had a good career. I'm not a kid of 16 or 17 anymore. You see me? I do believe I can play in the championship easy. The frustrating thing is I'm not getting the opportunity. So people, Ravel not get the opportunity. I'm not think we are give Ravel the opportunity either. We are use some old narrative with new details. Give Ravel a chance, man. You see me? Ravel saying that my agent has spoken to a lot of sporting directors, chief scouts, and head of recruitment, and we've got really close to an agreement. Then they get the manager's opinion, and it becomes but he's done this, he's done that, and they are speaking about things that happened when I was a kid. People on a leg off at that with Ravel. You see me? Time has moved on. It's over a decade ago, but it's crazy sometimes our people don't move on, and we have to move on, people. So I don't know what, and I'm gonna make sure I read this because I don't know if this is being used as well with Ravel with the national team, but make sure I read it out because my things so we are well on some things from the past with Ravel Morrison, and that's an excellent option in midfield. And we tired to see defenders in midfield. No defenders in a midfield. We don't want to see no more. Another option we can play midfield is man like Brandon Cover. We see Brandon Cover there in the squad for the Unity Cup. Brandon Cover didn't get a minute. Not a minute. And see there, this is transfer market. Brandon Cover, people you can see, listed as a defensive midfielder. No, I know people are going to tell me, say, yo, King, yeah, I'm listed as a defensive midfielder right here. So, but the past season, he has played right back, right midfield, left midfield. So this is showing that right midfield he has played 17 times this season, right back 7 times, left midfield 1 time. So there's no central defensive midfield statistics showing that he has played this season. However, if you look back the previous season, check back the season last season. I mean the season before the one that just finished. He played 3 times as a D mid and 3 times as a central midfielder. And if you go back to the season before that, he played 9 times as a DM and 4 times as a central midfielder, which simply means that this is a man that has central or defensive midfield experience. None of them man here. I'm tired to see defenders in a midfield. We don't want to see no defenders in midfield no more. The other option we can use in a midfield is man like Christopher Pearson. And not because he's wearing number 6 on him back, that's why we think he's a number 6. But he's an actual number 6. And yeah, we know say Christopher Pearson play 14 games this season. 14 games. And I know this is listed as a central midfielder. I know that back in our youth days, he was even more of an attacking midfielder. But these days, you can see people, he's playing central midfield or defensive midfield. So it's a this past season so far, he played 7 games central midfield, one as a defensive midfielder. But at least we know say yo the youth is playing as a defensive midfielder. At least he have more than a game or a few, because I don't think the statistics is right. I don't know where transfer market are going. Yes, so with Christopher Pearson, but still, that's a defensive midfielder. We can play defensive midfield. We can play central midfield. And we don't want to see no more defenders in a midfield. No defenders in a midfield. This is another player, people, and this is a Gennaro Johnson. The man wear a number 44 Reggae Boys jersey, people. Reggae Boys jersey. And I say Brian Bobby. You get me? I say another Ajax player. I don't know which part of them they are chain. But this is Gennaro Johnson with a big number 44. You can see the Johnson and back, people. That means that the man have him jersey already. But we don't know why he was in the 60-man squad, prelim squad for the Gold Cup. Then we don't know what going on with him. But this is another player that can also play defensive midfield. See the pan transfer market, it's a DM. He's 18 years old. See the people, again, transfer market that shows say him citizenship, Jamaica, Netherlands, and again, we see him get called up to the 60-man squad. So we know say he's somewhere about the team. But look at this. It is saying that his main position is defensive midfield. Even though he played a lot of centre back, but at least he play defensive midfield. Look at this this past season. This past season, 7 games as a DM, 5 games as a centre back, 1 game as a central midfielder. So this is a player that can play central midfield or defensive midfield. This is also another option. So we don't want to see no more defenders in midfield. No defenders in midfield. That is what we are saying. Look at this, people. Just look at this. So these 2 defenders that are playing midfield. Look at this. Damian Lowe, 23 games last season. All 23 games at centre back. See, I take a man in a centre back mode all season and I say, all right, go and play CDM for me right now. Go and play my number 6. No, people, we see can't tell you that. Look at this now, Joel Latibody here, 36 games for Coventry. And at least he have 1 game in CDM, which is probably the better of the 2 at the number 6 role, but we still no want to see none. You get me? I said this man is primarily a centre back, 26 games at centre back, 5 games at right back, 1 game at CDM. We don't want to see no more defenders in the midfield. Point number 2, people, we're going to move on to players who complement each other. And this is what I mean by that. So now, again, this is the last 6 games that we play. And again, you can see the up and down nature. But we're going to take it back to the 3-love game between we and St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And again, when you see right as a people, Isaac Aiden did actually start this game. Yeah, and Latibody was a centre-half. Dexter was a right back. Win 3-love convincingly. Now, yes, Bobby Reid was the number 8 in this game, but I'm going to point out something important again. Now, the other game which we won 3-love in recent time, again, Isaac Aiden starts. So we know Isaac Aiden is important. However, the balance that Isaac Aiden create, you can just take a look at this graphic. This is the average position of the team with the 3-love game that we won against Guatemala, the first game that we played Guatemala before we lost. The last game, 1-love. And what you can see is that, people, look at this. You can see the back 4 right here. So it almost become a 5 here right here and a 5 right here. So it becomes like a 2, which you have a 2 center of them. Then you have a 3 right here, which is your right back, your holding midfielder, and your left back. And they have 5 person in attack. No, this is the same thing that they're trying to do without a specialist number 6. And it doesn't work. I'm going to show you why it worked this time. Because guess what? In this game, you have Latibody, a invert, a help, a specialist number 6 in Isaac Aiden. It works perfectly because Latibody is not a natural number 6, not a natural midfielder. When he's inverting, he needs to be beside a natural midfielder, and it can work. So if you have Latibody invert and you don't know you have a specialist number 6, that can work. But if it's not a special number 6, like an out and out defender like Damian Nanalo, you can't have Latibody invert with Damian Nanalo. And the other thing that happened is look at John Russell's positioning. John Russell is positioning like a number 10. Same as Demarai Gray. So we end up have 2 number 10s and then there's a big gap in midfield right there. So when Isaac Hayden is out injured, and if you must, even though we don't want to see it, if you must play somebody that's more defensive minded, at least people, look at this game. This is the one love that we get. And again, we're going to say, a Damian Nanalo, a defender that started. No, this is actually the one love that we won. You get me? I said this was a sting fest, but it also is a defender that played in midfield or started in midfield. And then this is the one love that we lost to Guatemala. And again, what is common again? We played a defender in a midfield. Now, people, for me personally, I don't want to see the defenders play in midfield. But guess what? We have player defenders in a midfield, and in my opinion, the actual defender I think can actually play midfield is man like Richard King. And we haven't seen Richard King playing any midfield whatsoever. So, in my opinion, if you say the coach want to play a defender in a midfield, even though we don't want to see, why you not play the defender with the best skill set in a midfield in a Richard King? In my opinion. So, in my opinion, if you're going to play a defender in a midfield, which we don't want to see, I would want to see King. And this is how I think it's supposed to play. You play a Russell, because Russell is going to play like a number 10 anyways. He's going to stay in the box. He's going to vacate the area. And I'm going to show you a graphic in a few of how Russell plays or is playing right now. So the reason why I made a play Casey Palmer over at Demarai Gray is that Casey Palmer is dropping deeper to pick up this football. So even though we don't want to see the defender, because we don't want to see that. This is what we want to see. This is what we want to see. So in my opinion, if you're going to play Gray and John Russell, I think you have to play a specialist number 6, right? You have to play a specialist number 6. If you're not going to play a specialist number 6 and you're going to play some kind of defender, I think you can't use Latibo there to invert, because you're going to have a defender invert beside a defender. It doesn't work. So I think this, if you're going to play any defender whatsoever, and the coach, you have to learn your players who complements who. You can't have a defender invert beside our next defender. It doesn't work. So now play Dexter Lembikisa. Play him as a natural, as a regular wing back. He's very attacking, overlap, make him get up there. You don't have to invert in a midfield if you're going to play somebody that's more defensive minded. And we don't want to see that. So play a specialist midfielder. Play Latibo there where he can invert beside him now. And then Demarai Gray and John Russell can go and go play them number 10 role. If you must. If you want to play Latibo there and you want to invert him, at least play a specialist number 6, play a specialist central midfielder, then you can have Russell and Gray gone up, gone. Them want to play as 2 number 10. Them want to vacate the area. But at least you have Latibo there with limited skill set, and you have a central midfielder that knows how to play the role. So that is how I view it, people. Because look at this. Look at the average position for the game that we lost 1-0 against Guatemala. See the difference, people? Look at the difference. Look at the back line right here. Flat. This is Latibo there actually inverting. Look what the ML loaded. And then yes, the 5 players up top, which is John Russell one. Look how high John Russell there. Look how high Demarai Gray there, him average positioning. So these players have vacate wall right here, so and only one man there. The only midfielder. So you can't have a defensive minded player that really is playing defense heavy week in, week out. You have to complement him with a more ball playing player. So that's why if you're gonna play a defender right here, you have to play a central midfielder that wants his ball. You have to go for your Casey Palm, you have to go for your Ravel Morris, somebody like that. If you have to play one defender, even though we don't want to see that. You see me? Look at the Mara grade there, very high. Look at John Russell there, very high. You get me? I say so. For compensate for that gap there, have to play one ball away a drop right there. So Ravel Morris or Casey Palmer, in my opinion. And this is actually the goal that we conceded in the Guatemala game, people. Look at this. Look at the back line right there. So the back line, everybody are marked properly. Look what low there. Him probably a mark. But look at this. Look at this right here. Look where John Russell right there. So that can't work. And that's how we can see the goal in the 32nd minute. Look there. The back line basically a 4 against 3, which is fine because you must have one free player in the back line. But look at this. Look at the gap in midfield right there, so people. You get me? I say, and that is because you're playing a defender in midfield and you're not playing another midfielder that wants to pick up those areas. So it doesn't work, people. It doesn't work none at all. You see me? So I say, if you're going to play a defender in midfield, which we don't want to see, at least play a Casey Palmer. Look at Casey Palmer areas. He picks up deeper areas than a Demarai Gray. So the coach have to work out. Say if me ever play a defender, me can't play a Demarai Gray, or me can't play a Demarai Gray with a John Russell. Because the two of them are going to run left the midfield. The coach have to fix that. So the third and final things we must fix is play players suitable for specific matches. I'm gonna say this because yeah, people, you see that game, the people, you see the game between BVI and the Arbor pitch, the game between BVI and Arbor pitch, we beat CFAS and say, yo, CFAS, one trick pony, yes, fine. Low block teams, yes, fine. And people are saying, all right, then sometimes we don't want to see Demarai Gray on the left flank, but sometimes we can play Demarai Gray on the left flank. You get me? I say, if you must play CFAS in some games, I say, you play CFAS, we can do something like this. And every time if you play teams, we have to sit off, we have to sit back, you still play a Cephas, you play Palmer, you play Anderson, you play three specialist midfielder that have a little more attacking intent about them. Because time after time we see 5 defenders out there. Why not see more attackers out there? Why not a Palmer and a Demarai Gray? We know so the coach see both of those players as 2 ball handlers, but sometimes you need extra ball handlers out there when you have played low block teams, when you have play teams where we supposed to dominate this ball. If you have more the ball, have more ball handlers for handle this football. You get me? I say, so I think I would want to see something like this. If we are play against the other day against Guatemala, we should have looked something more like this. You get me? I say, yeah, Anderson never did it. But if you ever play the defender right there, so you get me? I say, are you gonna play John Russell right there? So you could have played John Russell right here, so and play Palmer and Gray with Cephas. You get me? I say, in some games where the line, the defense are gonna drop deeper and deeper. Probably there's no space for Cephas. You play a Demarai Gray out there, so you still have a Demarai Gray Palmer. You don't know you have a specialist central midfield, and you John Russell are there in the box, but at least you have them two where can link up play right there. So you get me? I say Palmer will come for the football, and this is a special central midfielder. You still have Demarai Gray around so to be more like a Jack Grealish type player instead of a Cephas who's more like a Jeremy Daku type player. You get me? I say people. So at this me want to see the coach have to realize them say horses for courses, and the coach need to recognize that. You see me? So the coach have to do that and fix things. But there you have it, people. Those are my 3 major fixes for the Reggae Boys going forward. You get me? I say, and I think if the coach really fix these things, we can beat Panama, we can beat Guadeloupe, we can go through to the second round or the knockout round of the Gold Cup. I would definitely go World Cup. People, until next time, you don't know, want to smash that like button on the video, people. Smash the like button, want to subscribe, want to wait pan. You don't know, it's your boy. And I am out, people. What good. Thanks for watching. Take care.